Now, until this law was changed in the United States, it was conceivable that a minor could be executed for murder in the United States in the states that were still having the death penalty. So today we're going to be talking about the interesting case which changed legal history. Scott Allen Hain was the last person executed in the United States for crimes committed as a minor. He was executed by Oklahoma for a double murder kidnapping he committed when he was 17 years old. Now, he was born in Tulsa. As a teenager, he accumulated numerous juvenile convictions, including trespassing, theft, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Now, on October 6, 1987, Hain and Robert Lambert carjacked an automobile in Tulsa that was occupied by Michael Houghton and Laura Sanders. Hain and Lambert eventually stopped the car, robbed Houghton and Sanders, and placed them in the trunk of the car. Hain then set the car on fire, which resulted in Houghton and Sanders' deaths. Hain was only 17 at the time of the murders. Now, Hain and Lambert were arrested on October 9, 1987. At a trial in 1988, they were both convicted of capital felony murder and sentenced to death by lethal injection. In 1994, an appeals court determined that because the jury had not been told the possibility of a life sentence without any chance for parole, Hain was entitled to a new sentencing hearing. At the resentencing hearing, the new jury again sentenced Hain to death for the murders. All of Hain's subsequent appeals were eventually dismissed, and in February 2002, the United States Supreme Court refused to hear his appeal, which was based on arguments of unconstitutionality executing juvenile offenders. Now, on February 23rd, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a stay of execution that had been put in place by the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, and Hain was executed by lethal injection at the age of 32. He was the 60th person executed by Oklahoma since 1976, when the death penalty was reinstated by the United States Supreme Court. Now, Hain's partner, Lambert, who had been convicted and sentenced in 1994, was retried, convicted, and sentenced again to death. In 2005, however, Lambert's case went to the Oklahoma State Court of Criminal Appeals, where the court ruled him mentally retarded. Not the proper term in 2021, but that's what they determined. According to news reports, Lambert is now serving a life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, as a result of the 1976 Supreme Court decision in Gregg v. Georgia, capital punishment was allowed to resume in the United States. With his execution, Hain became the 22nd juvenile offender executed in the States since 1976, the 23rd murderer executed in the States in 2003, the 843rd murderer executed in the States since 1976, the 5th murderer executed in Oklahoma in 2003, and he was also the 60th murderer executed in Oklahoma since 1976. Hain was the last person executed in the United States for crimes committed as a minor prior to the 2005 Roper v. Simmons case, in which the United States Supreme Court outlawed such executions. Now, in March 2005, less than 2 years after Hain's execution, the United States Supreme Court held in the 5-4 decision of Roper v. Simmons that the 8th Amendment to the United States Constitution was violated when offenders were executed for crimes committed prior to the age of 18. In Roper v. Simmons had been decided prior to Hain's execution, Hain could not have been legally executed. Now, according to the 8th Amendment to the United States Constitution, it prohibits the federal government from imposing excessive bail, excessive fines, or cruel and unusual punishments. This amendment was adopted on December 15, 1791, along with the rest of the United States Bill of Rights. Now, I think what they concluded in this statement, that because he was not legally an adult, for him to be executed for crimes he committed when he was not of legal age was seen as excessive. I'm not a legal expert on this, but the nature of his murders probably was a contributing factor for the courts to ask him to be executed after being found guilty. So it's United States Supreme Court has made several decisions over the years. As we know, executions were taken away in California after Charlie Manson committed all those crimes. Now, there's people that are not in death row deserve to be executed in the States in the eyes of the population. Others that are on death row that the population thinks they should not be executed. So it's all a matter of conjecture. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Not too many women have been executed in North America for murder since the start of the 20th century. I think the lady that was executed in the States in recent weeks, she's the third or second in the States over the last number of years. And in Canada, the last one, of course, was the airplane bombing in Quebec many years ago, before we dropped the death penalty. So I give you this information just as a part of history and the legal aspects of how the States works. I am not here to glorify or to sensationalize what happened. These are the facts. You can research on your own. There's various YouTubes on the case. But a 17-year-old person that commits murder, eventually executed, it's a tragedy for many people, because to see a teen go bad, where he should know better. But it's Oklahoma can be a rough place sometimes. It's a very strict state. Thanks for listening.